Evening, guys. How's the audio sounding? Sounding all right? Do a little test of the audio, see if you can hear me. Let me know. Let me know if I'm sounding okay. Not too quiet. Let me know. Can you hear me? Sounding clear. Don't know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Pretty good. Awesome. Awesome. It's good. The audio's well. We'll kick off a little bit. Won't keep you hanging on much longer, guys. Just put a few little posts out on Facebook and things. But bit impromptu. The show's not been as active as I would like it to have been the last few weeks. So it's pretty understandable that there's not many people that know what's going on. So we'll give it like a little bit of time, see if the message gets round. But we'll start in a minute and we'll see who turns up. But thank you so far for joining, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks, and it's good to be back. Very good to be back. Right, okay. So audio is working, which is good. Let's see whether some white noise in the background, but nothing too bad. Okay, I think that's the processor on the computer is making that white noise, I believe. But hopefully it's not too bad. Hopefully. Right, okay. So let's bring up the picture, see whether you can actually get some, whether the picture's coming through all right. That's me. Whee! I'm here. Look, new overlay for the new stuff. So looking pretty cool. I'm quite pleased with it. I think it's worked on that today. But yeah, I think it was pretty good. Pretty good. Really happy with it. Oh, I've got a bit of a cough at the moment, guys. So apologise if I cough all through the stream tonight. Try not to. A little bit of a tickly cough. A few more people jumping in. So welcome, guys. Thank you for coming along. Appreciate your time. Much appreciated. And if you're coming back, sorry about the break. It's not really been very Wargaming Weekly, has it? Yes, you're priming my 7 Hive Tyrants and 4 Morlocks. Whoopee-doo. Nice one, nice one. They are the hotness. They are the absolute hotness at the moment. So I do not blame you whatsoever. And I'll tell you what, they're fun to play. And that's ultimately it, isn't it? They're not only brutally powerful, they're actually a laugh to play with, which is really cool. But yeah, 7 Hive Tyrants and 4 Morlocks is the business. So enjoy that, enjoy that. Yeah, all good. What's anyone else doing? Anyone else doing any hobby now? Or are you just chilling out? Chilling out on a Thursday night? Let me know. Let me know what you're up to. I'm painting them up in McDonald's colours. You're just such a troll, mate. That is just all sorts of trolling. That is. That's cool. That's pretty cool, though. I do like the idea. That's quite cool. But you're just massively going to troll everyone, which is also cool as well. Love it. Love it. I'm taking the Tyranids back out for a spin this weekend. Actually, we'll talk about a little bit in a bit, but loving the Tyranids. Loving the Tyranids. Absolutely enjoying the spotlight at the moment, which is cool. Been a long time coming. The struggles of the last 2 editions, and actually now we're having a little bit of a resurgence and a little bit of time in the sun. You could say I'm loving it. Yes, absolutely wicked. That's quality. I'm pleased. Anyone else doing up? Anything else going on? What are you up to, guys? Tell me. I need to know. I tell you what, I haven't done any hobby. It's really terrible. I've had a little bit of hobby burnout after Vegas, and I think a lot of it as well is down to the fact that pretty much I'm just enjoying playing the Tyranids so much, and my lists are ready to go, so I don't really need to paint anything, and I'm just at the moment I'm not really buzzing about playing anything else because I'm just loving playing the Tyranids so much, and my kind of my Nurgle and my other armies, really, to be fair, are pretty much ready to go. So I've got another sort of secret project sort of in the works, but I just at the moment I'm just enjoying playing Tyranids too much. When are you going to release another episode of Unit Tactica? Would love Gene Stealer 1. Gene Stealer 1. Well, I've not done a Gene Stealer 1, but what I can let you know is there will be one that will be out. Let me give you something a little bit concrete. So I'm gonna say Sunday, but let's be safe and say by the end of Monday, by Monday afternoon, for sure you will have the next Tyranid Tactica video, advanced tactics from the Hive Mind. And in this one, I'm going to be focusing on Biovores, how to use them, all the tricks and all the different little shenanigans you can pull with Biovores. So that's the next one. But I filmed another couple after that. But I'll tell you what, for you, my friend, I will make sure that Gene Stealers are my next one. So Gene Stealers will be 3 away, but we'll definitely do a Gene Stealer one. And sorry they've not been as sort of out as fast as I would like them to be. It's been pretty hectic at home. I had a lot going on. Work has been a bit mad, but I'm promising you guys the content will be coming thick and fast. It's going to be there. But I'm never a fan of just chucking stuff out just for the sake of it. If I do something, I put my heart and soul into making sure that it's really good content for you, and it's something that you'll actually enjoy and something that you can kind of take something from. So as much as I'd love it to be more regular, I try to make sure that it's good content for you. So hopefully that works out, and you'll get get the content that you're after. Also, so next Friday you will see a Tyranid battle report with pretty much my Vegas list, playing Fabius, playing his Tzeentch demons over on Twisted Dice, and that's a really good game, and that's you get to see the real strength of the Tyranids, and you get to see me kind of really playing them pretty optimized, and it's a dice by dice game, so you'll get to see a lot of the dice rolls as well. We're really trying to kind of pick that up, so hopefully you'll enjoy that, and if you're not already, make sure you subscribe to Twisted Dice, because it will be where the majority of the battle reports going forward, and over on this channel you'll see a lot more news, rumours, a lot of this show, hopefully, if we can get it back rolling again, and obviously a lot of tactics. And there will still be battle reports, there'll still be obviously painting tutorials and things like that. But if you want to see your regular battle reports, go over to Twisted Dice, because we're dropping one pretty much every week, and they're really, really good battle reports. So don't miss out on those. Cool. Right. Okay. Well, so I don't know who else is going to turn up, guys. So it's a very unique. And hello, Ian. Nice of you to drop by. I know. Sorry, it's been a long time. But yeah, so what we'll do now, guys, is we'll pretty much kick it off. As I said, I don't know who's going to kind of rock in, who's going to turn up, so we'll kind of see how we get on. As I said, my apologies, it's been such a long time, and I would love to announce this to give you guys a bit more warning, but the internet has been such a problem in my area that it's been so sporadic, and work has been an absolute nightmare as well. So, enough of the excuses though. Let's get this show underway. So thanks very much for joining us, guys, and welcome to Wargaming Weekly. It is meant to be the weekly show where I talk about all things wargaming. We'll talk about news, rumours, bet tactics, tournaments, a lot of just very chilled out banter and chat. If you can catch it live, it's every Thursday at 10 o'clock, but it's not been every Thursday recently. But if you keep an eye out, generally, if I'm going to stream, it will be Thursday at 10 o'clock. And yeah, and it's a great crowd of people that come and watch when it eventually airs. But tonight it's going to be a pretty impromptu show. It's going to be pretty laid back and relaxed. But I want to go through a few bits with you. I want to fill you in on a few bits on the channel, and kind of what's going on, and also my thoughts on kind of 40k at the moment, where we are, what's the hotness, what to look out for, and what we're going to kind of be expecting over the next few months as things kind of continue to evolve at a pace that is incredible. But thank you very much for joining us. We've got Gavin in the chat now. Right, Gavin, looking forward to a tournament, I'm guessing this weekend, of course. Yeah, it has been far too long, Ian. As I said, big apologies. I've let you guys down, and I do massively apologise. But I am back. I am going to try my best to try and get back to the weekly. It's just been a bit of a nightmare with all sorts of other bits and pieces. I hope you like the new overlay. I was working on that today. I still want to polish things up a little bit, but I quite like it. It's just a bit of a fresh start again. We sort of give it a bit of. We've got the new branding in there, the new logo, and the new little t-shirt artwork as well. But yeah, so let me know what you think about it. But I quite like it. I think it looks pretty cool. Ian, you're going to Warhammer Fest in May, playing the Age of Sigmar tournament. Wicked, very cool. So before I get started, just to let you know, guys, if you haven't heard them already, do check out Wargames for all your hobby goodness. They are my sponsor, but a great place to get all your hobby goodness and all your needs. And there's always a link in the description, so check them out. And also, just want to talk a little bit, and I want to big myself up a little bit, so apologies, guys. I'm going to blow my own trumpet for a little bit, and just ignore me if you're not interested. But obviously, please do follow me on Instagram. I post quite a lot on Instagram. It's where I'm probably most active, so you can check me out on Instagram. If you search in Ace Face, you'll find me. It's not too difficult to find me over there, but I put a lot of bits and pieces on there. Also, you know, if you want to support me further, you can see the banner there up at Patreon, at Aceface, and that's kind of, I'm putting a lot of work into that at the moment to try and give you something that's probably a little bit more worthwhile and try and give you guys probably more what you're after. So I'm going to show you stuff, and this just might be interesting to you guys anyway. And depending on demand, I will probably just release this stuff to the general public going forward. But at the moment, this stuff is pretty much exclusive to my Patreon backers. But what we've got the new dice. Show the new dice. They look pretty swanky. So they are $10 back in, I believe they are. I will update it, but yeah, they're really sweet dice. You've got them. You can't really see them there, but at the moment they're coming in like a pearl white, pearl blue, and a pearl purple, which is very much my Tau colours. Really nice. They're quite big dice, big if you like big chunky dice. You know, they're pretty nice dice, lovely quality, and you can see the logo on there. Really love them. I used them in my first battle report, and actually they did pretty well. So you'll see them coming up pretty soon. I've also got a second run of dice if you prefer a smaller dice, and they will be on the same deal. They're a little bit more of the old style logo, and they'll be on a smaller dice. Again, like the pearl, just quite nice, a little bit different. So we've got them, and I will have my $20 back in, which will be the new t-shirt, which is the exclusive new artwork designed specially for me. Really cool t-shirt. You know, it's not too in your face, but it's pretty cool. Got Tyranid in the mod outfit on the scooter with the old brand in there. And again, at the moment I'm good. That's around the $20 back in. But depending on demand, as I said, I might be able to get that on just general release at the moment. But that would be kind of coming forward. But let me know what you think, guys. I think they're pretty cool. I'm chuffed about them. So yeah. So if you are interested at all, obviously check me out on Patreon. Send me a message if you can't find out what you're looking for. You don't 100% understand it. I'll let you know around kind of what we're talking about. But yeah, that's how you can kind of support me further. And as I spoke to a few of the guys before we kind of kicked off, if you haven't already, go over to Twisted Dice. It's kind of the secondary channel, and it's me with another group of guys, and we're working predominantly on battle reports over there. There's pretty much a battle report every weekend. It's in nice quality. They're really beautiful armies, you know, and you'll get to see a lot more games over there. So if you want to see your battle reports, jump over there. I filmed a battle report end of last week. That will be up next week, and that will be pretty much my Vegas Tyranid list against Fabius's demons. And and kind of to give you background, Fabius normally does particularly well with his demons. Obviously the demons have changed massively and Tyranids have changed massively, and it's quite a good game. And that's a lot of dice by dice stuff. So if you like your full battle reports, that's one to look forward to, and that will be dropping the end of next week. So that's that. Let's talk a little bit about kind of news. As far as news on the 40k, we're having a little bit of a lull at the moment after Custodes, but we've got lots of exciting stuff coming up. We know that there's Tau to drop very soon. We know that we've got Dark Eldar. You know, we know we've got some cool stuff on the horizon, and obviously we're going to see the Knights dropping about two, and they're not in too far either. We've got lots of cool stuff that will definitely start to shift the meta again, no doubt about it. And you know, that's exciting stuff for the game. Custodes at the moment, the new thing, and Custodes not so much as an army themselves, but as a way of making Imperial Suit work even more effectively. Custodes have definitely continued to shake things up. But there's still some interesting stuff coming through the meta all the time, and I think people are still discovering stuff from codexes that are 4 or 5 codexes back, which is the exciting stuff. I still think we are looking probably 6 months before a majority of the combos kind of get found out, and we start to get more of a settling down in the meta. But it's definitely exciting times, and it's a good time to play 40k. There's loads to kind of get involved in, and the tournament scene is really booming, which is exciting. And Yeah, those custodes are bloody tough. And on the kind of subject of kind of tournaments, I can show you as well, guys. Fingers crossed. If I've kind of got it loaded up here, let's have a little look. I thought I had it loaded up. Let's have a look. I'm sure I have got it in here. There we go. I have got the new artwork and the new poster for the Northwest Open, which I am absolutely loving. Again, fresh off the press, very kind of tongue-in-cheek, very fun. But obviously the Northwest Open will be the last week in July, and I believe tickets probably go in sale within the next couple of weeks. Obviously, the Facebook page will go up. You'll get lots of warning, so just keep an eye out for that. We will make sure we give you at least a week's notice before those tickets go on sale. But bear in mind, the last couple of tournaments have sold out within an hour. Without a doubt, it's going to be going quick. But yeah, but exciting stuff again. You know, Northwest Open is always an absolute blast to run and be part of, and continues to go from strength to strength. So we're very excited about that. I've got some other kind of tournaments to talk about, so I'm going to, and I'm going to get my link out here on my phone because I'm not the best at remembering things. So I will give a little shout out to the guys over in Scotland, up in Scotland. They have got the next tournament, the Scottish Takeover 3. I went to the Scottish Takeover 2. I don't think I'm going to be able to go to 3, which is a massive regret because it was an amazing tournament. And it was great kind of catching up with the guys there. Loved it to bits. But you can search that. You can search that on the Scottish Takeover 3. And I heavily recommend it. So it's a really nice group of people. Great event, very well run, and I think that will be a good one to watch out for. It's an ITC tournament, and yeah, I mean, I might be able to make it. So I haven't completely ripped myself off, but it looks very unlikely. I've got a really busy March, and yeah, pretty packed out. But that's one to definitely to keep in mind. One I will be going to is I'll be going to the Warzone Isle of Man tournament. So if you ever wanted to go to the Isle of Man, a good buddy of mine, very close friend, Simon, is running. He runs a tournament pretty much every year over the Isle of Man, but he generally does it over like a couple of weeks because the majority of it is people from the Isle of Man. This time he's expanding a little bit and wants to try and get a few people from over in the mainland to come over. His boards are really good, so great terrain. Again, he's going to be playing straight out of the pack Champions missions, and it'll be a really well run tournament. There's a lot of my friends that will be playing, which always means that it will be hijinks and a good laugh. But also there'll be some quality players there as well, and that is the 7th of July, 7th and 8th of July. That one is. Yeah, don't miss out on that. It's going to be a very good tournament, and that'll be a 2-day tournament. And it's he sent me the details of it, guys. Let me tell you. So it is. Tickets for that will go on sale the 2nd of April. And they are £25 a ticket, which is really good value. And yeah, they'll be using the full Champions pack. But what I'll do is when this video goes up, I'll put a little link on the description down below. So you know, if you're watching this now live and you want to kind of go back and find out a bit more about it, I'll put a link in the description. Let me see whether I can even chuck it in the chat now. Probably not. Let's go. Copy that. Let's try. I'm trying to be flash here, guys. So it might work, it might not. Let's try and chuck that in. This might work, might not. It's gonna work. Is it gonna work? Post the damn thing. Oh no, it's won't let me because it's too many stuff. Anyway, yeah, it's not working. But I'll put a link in the description at a later date. But that's one definitely to check out, and be really, if you've never been to the Isle of Man, I think it'd be great. I mean, I've never been over, so I'm looking forward to just kind of seeing somewhere different and going over there. What also is happening, so very late in the day, I missed out on going to the Heat 3 of the Games Workshop tournaments, which was last weekend. Absolutely gutted to miss it. Really, I was, again, work got in the way, and so disappointed because I was kind of really geared up and excited about going, but couldn't go to that. I've had a little bit of free time that's opened itself up this weekend, so I'm going to the Greetings from the Warp one day tournament on Saturday, and again I'm going to be taking my Tyranids. And if you haven't checked out them, then check out Greetings of the Warp on Facebook. A really active community, both for 40k, 30k particularly, and Age of Sigmar as well. And the guys do a really good job at putting on a great tournament. So that's going to be about a 35-man tournament, a one-day tournament. So we'll see how we get on there, and I'll probably talk about the list a little bit later for you guys that are interested. Again, it's probably not going to be too much of a surprise because I am loving the Tyranids at the moment, and I don't really need to change the list dramatically because it's been doing so well. So that's kind of tournament news. Going forward, the next big tournament will be the London GT. I won't now be at the finals, the Games Workshop finals, which is a bit of a shame because that would have been good to go to. They're always pretty good fun. I did enjoy Warhammer Fest last year. I might pop along anyway just to kind of say hello to a few people. I know there will be a big crowd there, and it's always nice to meet people, but the chances that I'll probably miss out this year. But I will be at the London GT, so if anyone's at the London GT, great to meet you. It's quite close to me, so it's very ideal just to kind of jump on a train. I can be there incredibly quickly, and I think that would be a good tournament. I know that Zach and the guys are trying really hard to kind of continue to lift the quality there. I watched it year one, and it wasn't great. I put a video up about that in the archives, but his ambition, just from day one, was incredible, and hats off to them, how well they're doing now and how much they're lifting the quality of that event every single year. And I'm sure that this year will be the best yet by far, and I'm looking forward to that. See you later, Ian. Thanks for dropping by. So that's kind of tournaments coming up, and yeah, really excited about kind of competitive 40k. It's awesome. What's he saying? I waited till next for London GT. Next year, I'm guessing. Anyway, so what I thought I'd talk about a little bit, and as I said, it's pretty impromptu, and I'm hoping you guys can kind of chip in as well, and let me know how you feel about it. But I wanted to talk a little bit about what we think the next big thing is, and this is all just speculation because I don't know anything. I don't have any kind of secret source that's telling me stuff. But I just kind of wanted to kind of spitball ideas around what we think, and what is potentially going to be the next big thing that's going to come out. So where we are at the moment is Eldar are still sitting top of the tree, and they're sitting the top of the tree basically because things don't change straight away overnight. Now, even though they've been very much figured out now, so Tyranids are by far stronger than Eldar in a one-on-one match. Dark Reaper spam really struggles against Tyrant spam, so that's ultimately proving to be the downfall for the power Eldar lists. But as it takes time for people to kind of latch on to that being the new big thing, it's taking a little while, and kind of due to that, Eldar are still sitting top of the pile. We've got some other kind of really kind of strong lists coming through. So the Custode bikes are very strong. They are proving a great plug and play for most Imperial lists, and just generally, I think people are going to see Custodes in so many of the lists going forward. And Gavin's just jumped in and said Dark Talons. Well, I know that's obviously what you're taking this weekend, matey, but Dark Talons are definitely popping up everywhere, and your list pretty much uses full advantage of the Dark Talons, let's say. But yeah, Dark Talon's very, very good counter. And again, they're a great counter versus the Flyrants. They're a great counter versus the Dark Reapers to a degree. I mean, Dark Reapers still do deal with them quite well, but with that quite a lot of time it is a kind of first turn, second, kind of who can do the most damage quickly enough. And the Dark Talons have got enough DACA at a very reasonably points level to put those Dark Reapers away pretty quickly. And against most armies, they're just totally brutal against. So 100% they're coming through as a really, really strong counter to a lot of lists. The magic and the secret sauce, if you haven't worked it out, and I'm sure you guys have, is you want something that is very survivable, and you want something that hits incredibly hard at an affordable price. And that might all sound really, really basic, but that's the things you're looking for at the moment. So ultimately, you know, bodies to score points are important, but those three factors are the thing that is are the things that are winning big tournaments at the moment. You want, and it is really as simple as that. You want what can you get hold of that is very hard to deal with, so it's resilient. So either it is lots of minuses to hit, or it's got a very good invuln save, or it's particularly tough. So we can talk about Tyrants, we can talk about Plague Crawlers, we can talk about Dark Talons, we can talk about Wave Serpents, Alatok, Reapers, Demons with like Plague Bearers with double saves and +1 invuln. These are the things that are doing very well because they're very, very resilient. Then you need something that hits extremely hard, and you need it to hit hard quickly. So there's no point in needing something that takes 2 turns before it can hit hard, because that's also not going to work for you guys. That's not going to be what you need. You need something that is literally going to be able to straight away off the bat do a serious amount of damage. And if you've got something, if you've got something that's ticking those 2 boxes, you're on for a winner. But then to make it work, you need the third thing, which is making it points efficient, so you can take enough of it to make it really work. And ultimately that's just spamming, of course, but that is unfortunately to a degree the name of the game. I've kind of got over it now. I think anybody that that doesn't like it, you've got to realise that is 8th edition. 8th edition is a fairly simple format. Because it's a simple format, it is all around points efficiency. It always has been, but it's slightly more so now than it ever has been before. The slight caveat to that is command points. A lot of the power combos are still very dependent on command points. Because of command points, that still does force you to build your armies in certain ways by basically tax units. But on the whole, spamming is very much an 8th edition thing, more probably than it ever has been before. So that points efficiency is so important. So if you're looking at your armies, no matter what army it is, whether it's Tyranids, Space Marines, Eldar, whatever it is, those are the 3 kind of categories you need to be looking at to kind of work out whether you've got a unit and you've got an army that's really efficient. Is it going to survive? Does it hit really hard quickly? And is it very points efficient? If you tick all 3 of those boxes, you've probably got a pretty good army, and you've probably got a pretty good unit that's going to do work. So at the moment, as I said, what have we got down here? What about Blood Angels? So Blood Angels on their own are not bad at all. But they are probably at their best in a mixed Imperium list, where a Imperium player can take a Death Starry Blood Angel unit. So you can take like a unit of Death Company or Sanguinary Guard, probably Death Company, and then you can take the super smashy captain with his jetpack, and maybe take some scouts as well, because the scouts just do such a good job within that Space Marine kind of codex. And they'll do a job for you. And then you're probably taking other stuff from other Imperial units. You're probably taking maybe some cruel robots, or you're taking Imperial Guard super heavies or tanks. you're taking a combination of other things in there. You're taking assassins, you know, you're taking big blobs of units, taking mortars, you name it. You'll be taking lots of other stuff. Said again, like Dark Talons, that type of thing. That's how you're kind of plugging that army together to make it really, really effective. I think just a whole unit, a whole army of Blood Angels is still very good, and I think Blood Angels can easily win a tournament, but they're probably more likely to come sort of a really good Blood Angels player with a very effective list is probably looking at a top 5 finish. They're probably struggling to quite get it over the line against the real kind of hotness at the moment, Tyranids and Eldar, and you know, Mixed Imperium and Mixed Chaos are obviously still going to be there and thereabouts 100%. What's your favourite comp stratagems for NIDS? My favourite stratagem for NIDS by far at the moment is the when you die you shoot or attack. I love that, and it really, really does completely throw people off, because particularly if when you're using tyrants, and I actually, a lot of people run their tyrants, they run like 7 of them, but they're running pretty much all with claws and 1 set of devourers, or should I say 2 sets of devourers, which means they're very, very versatile. I quite like running heavy 24 shot devourer tyrants. I really like them. I just find that this bag load of dice is great. You kind of pair that up with the psychic powers. That does the job. I just don't think the combat ability of them is always needed in volume. So I quite like going heavy on the doubles, and I just think that, you know, once they die, to be able to then crack the stratagem, and then quite often with the double devourer 24 shots, you can decimate a unit that's close by in your opponent's turn. It's like Yunari, it's that good, and it's a great way of kind of like, yes, you've killed my guy, but actually now I'm going to shoot loads and kill you off. Ah, hello Gordon. Hey Reese. Nice to see you, my friend. We have a legend in the chat. Thanks for joining us, my friend. Try to do it justice. This is, I've kind of, for you guys that have kind of just jumped in, as always, this is meant to be a weekly show, but as always, you know, life gets in the way, and you name it, it kind of comes up. So it's been a bit impromptu because I wasn't sure whether the stream would stabilize. Thankfully, it has, so people are now kind of jumping in. But yeah, pretty much all we've been talking about. We're talking about competitions. We're talking about the meta as it is at the moment, and kind of what we're expecting going forward. We know that, you know, that things are continually changing, but where are we right now, and what's kind of our guess is going forward? Because you know, at the moment still we've got Eldar at the top of the tree, 100%, but they're being found out quite quickly. So we've been talking about the Dark Talons, because obviously that's a big hotness that's coming through. Gavin's using it this weekend. We know that they're going to do the business. And of course, Tyranids. Tyranids are pretty much, you know, I don't think everybody's really found them out yet, but the Flyrant spam is very much ruling the roost, particularly over here in the UK. And I think as that gets more and more notice over the next few weeks, we're really going to see that pretty much take over as the alpha army. But that's kind of what's been going on, guys, in the chat. But thank you very much for dropping by. Appreciate it. You're all awesome. So yeah, so what do we kind of expect going forward? What do we think is kind of the next thing? So we've got some exciting codexes coming up, and what's going to come out of that, it's going to be interesting. So the Games Workshop Heat 3 last weekend, unfortunately I couldn't make. Real interesting turnabout. So we had a Chaos Soup basically that came first, and a really cool guy who was at the Last Chance Open pretty much had the same list there, and I think he came 4th or 5th. I think you might have played him, Gavin, actually. I think you might have beaten him. But yeah, really good. He came top, and yeah, very good combination of a bit of a cultist bomb with berserkers in there, and did the business. So well done to him. The gentleman's name off the top of my head has left me at the key moment, but congratulations to him. And then Orcs 2 and 3. and that's, you know, that's a turn up for the books, because orcs, even though in the hands of a good general, orcs are a solid army at the moment. To get both second and third in a big GT is a pretty impressive result, and that's interesting. And again, so no Eldar in the top 5, no Tyranids in the top 10. So it just shows that even though we feel that the meta's quite obvious and we know where it is at the moment, there's still people coming out with some quite, you know, some quite surprising results. So what's to come next? But what I was saying to the guys as well, kind of anyone that's just kind of jumping in, is the way to kind of look at what is it that you need to kind of have that meta army or that meta unit. And basically at the moment it comes down to 3 things. So what you're looking for is you're looking for something that is, and this is already obvious, so, you know, apologies if I'm absolutely telling you how to suck eggs, but if you kind of bring things back to basics and you think about this as your kind of almost your format for building that competition list, you want something that is obviously hard hitting but hits you quick. It can't be something that takes a long time, and also you're looking at something that you know, that is very resilient. So that's why these armies are doing so well, because they're resilient. And you want something that's incredibly points efficient. If you can tick all those 3 boxes, you've got, you know, you've got a unit that's going to do well. So the big thing for me at the moment is, I think, looking forward, what we've got coming up, what do I think that's going to be really changing the meta? Well, I think that you're going to see Dark Eldar really kind of slip back up there, particularly the potential of Dark Eldar soups with Eldar, because I think a few little tweaks within that Dark Eldar army, who were quite hot topic at the beginning in the index armies, could start to twist things around, particularly as we're seeing tyrants floating to the top of the pile. We're seeing those hive tyrants stinging so hard. Just think, with all those poison shots, the mobility, the points efficiencies, now obviously they're a lot softer, but who knows, with the right stratagems, with, you know, the right different tricks of the trade, potentially you could see Dark Eldar really starting to throw things up. That they're kind of my tip, and I don't know, guys. I absolutely don't know. I don't have any secret squirrel. No one's telling me, or no one's feeding me any information. But just my kind of out there guess and stab in the dark is that potentially we could see Dark Eldar coming through and potentially utilising those tricks that Eldar have kind of got at the moment. So picking your kind of key units from the Eldar Codex, and then moulding them with some real strength and efficiency at points from a new Dark Eldar. Potentially you could see them coming through as a threat. What are we reckoning, guys? Just having a look at the chat. Yeah, pretty nice stratagem it is. It's awesome. What else we got? Walking melee hive tyrant meta. Gordon, I don't. If you keep saying it enough, maybe someone will listen to you. I would love to see someone do well with walking tyrants, but, you know, and I'm sure there's people out there that are persevering. There's only one walking tyrant, and that is the Swarm Lord. And he's still obviously an awesome unit, and I still think there's a place for him in a Tyranid army. I don't think his points efficiency probably doesn't make him as good as as kind of we want him to be, but he's still a very playable and very cool unit. You'll definitely see him in still a fair few Tyranid lists. What else have we got? They got big progressive scoring points and soft score. What's this? They've got big progressive scoring points and soft scores. I don't know what you're talking about there, mate. You might have to let me know a little bit more. Do you play any other armies these days? Yes. So probably at the moment my second army is Nurgle. So Nurgle demons. I like to play them with Mortarion. I personally really like that, and that was before the Demon Codex. I'm not trying to use him with any shenanigans. Obviously, you can't now anyway. I just like Mortarion as a bullet magnet. I always expect him to die, probably even turn one, but I like the fact that you can kind of throw him in there and you can throw him fast, and then it probably takes a whole army a whole turn to kind of kill him off, and then you've got great ball presence. I love what Nurglings do, so I want to kind of play around with Nurgle, and I suppose my gut feel is Nurgle are a little bit of a dark horse at the moment. I think they're quietly going about their own business, but I think they could quite easily win quite a few tournaments. They don't do the hard hitting thing awesome because they don't do it quick enough. Yes, they can deep strike in quite quickly, and there's potential of those charges which will do work, but where their strength lies is around being quick enough to congest the board and then hitting you hard over a period of turns, and kind of playing that game. And I think, yeah, again, I think you need to be able to play them well because they're not an auto plug and play. They're not just something that they're not a Gilliman push the button and the rest of the other army just falls over. It doesn't really work like that. But I think there's still, I think there's definitely, I think Nurgle are gonna be strong. So yes, that's what I'm playing at the moment. I'm not playing any Tau. I've not played any Tau since 8th edition, which is a shame. But my Tau is just all suits. It's all big suits as well, and that's one because they were very good in the last edition, and that's when I kind of got into Tau. But also because they look cool, and I just have never been a fan of Fire Warriors. I've never been a fan of like crew or little guys. Don't really like the tanks that much, and I also don't want tons and tons of drones. Now I know you can play them without that, but I kind of, in my mind and kind of put it on paper, I struggle to make that work. So I hope the Tau Codex throws up a few little tricks and stuff we can work with. I'm not massively hopeful, but who knows? I do like the Tau. I'd like to get them out again, but pretty much at the moment it's Tyranids have been my main focus for the start of 8th edition, full stop. But I've been playing a fair bit of Nurgle when I get a chance as well. And then for fun games, I'm playing my kind of custom Space Marine chapter just as kind of a pick up and play. It's a lot of fun. I like playing with all the new Primaris Marines. I think they're so cool units, so cool models. Not ultra competitive, but if you play them right, they can still put up a fight, and they're still fun army to play with. So that's kind of what I'm playing with at the moment. Talking about orcs. What are you talking about? We were talking about orcs. Have you tried out Shilton? What's this? Shilton of Plague Bearers. Oh, a shit ton of Plague Bearers. Sorry guys, it's late in the evening. A shit ton of Plague Bearers. I've said about 3 times now. YouTube are going to kick me off for bad language. With a few trees, Milepiper, Scrivener, and the Herald. Yeah, it should really hammer a lot of armies. Yeah, absolutely. So I've got kind of a list. I know what my kind of new updated Nurgle list is. I've got a few models to buy. So yeah, a lot of those models that you've just spoke about will 100% be in my army. They're great units. They're absolutely great. And yeah, 100%. And I also I've talked about it with the people, my circle of kind of playing people, and I still think that Scavafrax, even at 7/7/7, is actually really playable and frighteningly powerful, and really synergizes with a big Plague Bearer unit. I think he's a great unit, like crazy good, and with the stratagems and stuff you can use, he's basically unkillable. There's almost nothing in the game that can take him down. Like, he just laughs off anything. He's so good, and I just think he's incredible. So I've kind of got a list with him. You kind of sacrifice Mortarion, chuck him in, load of Plague Bearers, some of the support characters that you've spoke about. I really like that. Deep strike it in your face. Love it. I've got a few kind of lists for Nurgle, and I'm looking forward to getting them back out on the table. But I suppose I'm really realistic with how quickly the meta changes. And at the moment, my beloved Tyranids are sitting in a place where I'm loving how good they are, and I know the reality is that will change really quickly. I don't want to put them back on the shelf at the moment and kind of play a lot of other armies and then give it a month or 2 months time, and then Tyranids have been kind of relegated to mid tier, and I've kind of missed that excitement of them being a real power army to play with. So I'm kind of soaking it in and I'm enjoying it, and I'm kind of riding that gravy train and seeing how far it gets me, and that's kind of the plan. And if I can ride that through to the London GT, my plan is to take them there and see what we can do at the London GT. And probably after that, then that would be a good time then to kind of to try and kind of play with something else. But that's kind of my strategy and my plan at the moment. It might change because who knows what we've got kind of lined up over the next kind of weeks and months. Julian, hello mates. Hello. Almost missed it. No, you didn't miss it. I think we started a bit late anyway, and I don't really know how long we've been going. What we've been going? We've been going almost an hour, to be fair, guys. So thank you everyone that has been watching along. Well, I don't know what we've managed to talk about for a whole hour. Jesus, how have I managed to talk that much crap for an hour? We've not really covered that much, but there we go. I suppose I've had a lot to talk about, seeing that you've missed my my talking nonsense for the last month. But thank you anyway, Julian. Thanks for popping by. Always great to see you in the chat. So, before I cough to death, so that's kind of what I think. I suppose they're my tips. I know someone was saying, so you reckon Gordon probably Orcs? You reckon Orcs might come through? What's your guesses, guys? Who do you think? Let's fast forward the time on a month, where we've probably had another 3, or we definitely had another 2 codex within the next month. What's the new hotness then? Is it Tyranid still? What's going to be doing the rounds? What do you think is going to be fighting for the top tournament places? What's your guesses, guys? Chuck them in there. You can write it out now and be the first to say it. As I said, that's my prediction. My prediction is Dark Eldar will have a bit of a time in the sun for a little bit. That's my prediction. I honestly, I think probably Tyranids will last another month and a half before they start to get figured out. I think Dark Reapers, I think they've been figured out now. I think they'll still win tournaments, but I don't think they'll win big tournaments now. Now I'm saying that Orcs in the GT did so well because they amazingly soft scores and run out of time, progressive scoring missions. Controversial, Gordon, controversial, but potentially true. Potentially true. I think we have. I don't know whether Reese is still in the room, but I think we've definitely, as a TO and as a community, we have in the competitive scene got to dig deep and work out what we're going to do around slow playing. And a lot of that slow playing is not intentional. It's just people wanting to play with their toys in the way that they want to play with them. But I think we've got a big problem, and I think that problem is not going to go away now, and we need to kind of deal with it. And I don't know what the answer is personally. The whole idea of chess clocks scares me, because I like the social contract at the game table, and I'm not sure whether I love the thought of chess clocks. I'm more than happy to give it a go, but it worries me. It worries me. So I suppose, again, another thing I'm more than happy to kind of chat about and talk about my kind of thoughts on it. But I do think that we have got a big problem at the moment, at the highest level of competitive play. Slow play, not necessarily intentionally, and I really state that, is a big problem. It is a big problem. And I just don't see it going away. And as I said, all we need is the likes of Orcs and Team Stealer Cult to have really competitive codexes, and that's just going to get worse. It's going to get worse. So what's the answer? What is the answer? Is it that we do need to go down in points? Do we need to go to 1500 points? Do we need to introduce chess clocks? I don't know the answer. I really don't know the answer. I mean, anyone that was at the Last Chance Open, we were very strict on timings there, and it did work. So we didn't have any issues, but I still think that there was a vast majority of games that didn't go the whole distance, and that's just a shame, because it shouldn't work like that. It shouldn't work like that. We'll say. Yeah, so just talking about Dark Elder being good, I really do think they will be. Julian, next codex is Dark Elder, Tau. Can't remember what the other one is. Gonna say Necrons, but I'm not sure whether it is. I don't think it is Necrons. Knights, is also definitely on the radar. We've got. I like the idea of chess clocks. Yeah, well, I think I just need to give it a go. But I think there's two ways of playing chess clocks. You can either play a real kind of strict way of playing it, or you can play it more as a gauge. So if you've just got chess clocks there, you can actually see how much of the game that you've taken up, and actually then there's the potential opportunity of them penalising a player that takes too much time at the end of the game, rather than doing the kind of almost stop, like stop, like really quickly, and making it really timed. Because then that puts quite a pressure, and that makes it a slightly different way of playing. There's probably two ways of playing, or maybe more. There's probably more ways of playing the chess clock style. But I think, I don't know. It's a very interesting conversation. Very interesting conversation. You'd like to use the strict version. Fair enough. Well, defending against deep striking is the slow part. Well, I mean it's a when you've got people coming in, it is very time consuming. 100%. Deep striking and re-rolls slow down the game more than hordes. Interesting. Yeah, but the problem is that quite a lot of the time those hordes also have that, and they also have maybe a bit of deep striking as well. So it's difficult to say. I think the reality is, and it's the player ultimately. I think some players that play like an orc army or whatever know that they're playing an army that is notoriously slow, so they actually go out of their way to play as fast as they can. They make it their mission, and actually then they're some of the quicker players. So I don't think it's necessarily as clear cut as certain armies or certain styles. I think a lot of it comes down to the player, but it's I think it's really difficult, and I think sometimes you've got to think very honest. I actually think I'm quite a fast player, but I've never timed myself, and I've never really asked people whether they think I'm a fast player or a slow player. I generally get through quite a lot of my games, but interesting, very interesting. So I could carry on talking for a while, and I'm more than happy to. But have you got any kind of questions? Because I'm probably all out of things I wanted to cover this evening. As I said, I really just wanted to kind of say hello, guys. As I said, it's been a long time, and I've kind of let you guys down by not being on the scene recently, and I wanted to kind of drop by and kind of say hello. And it's great that so many people have turned out to say hello, so that's great. But before I go, give you guys the opportunity to ask any questions. What do you want to know? Is there anything you want to chat about? As I said, I'm not in a massive hurry to get off, but I will do if we haven't got much more to talk about tonight. Gone very quiet. Any thoughts on the common 3 shield captain spearheads? And that seems to be showing up. The common 3. Okay, fine. So we're talking about the custodes there on the bikes. I'm guessing is kind of the standard. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think they're really, really good. I think they're not game breaking. I'm not a massive fan of soups. That's pretty hypocritical, because in my Tyranid army I do play more than one high fleet quite a lot of the time. But I suppose for me, just as a look point of view, they really kind of look united, obviously, because they're the same bloody colour, just with a different colour base or something. But I really don't like the look of an army that's all kind of bits and pieces, like, you know, got a Custode unit here, a Blood Angel unit here, a Dark Angel unit here, got some Space Wolves there. Doesn't really work for me, and I'm not a massive fan of it. I don't mind it, and obviously in the competitive scene it's absolutely fine, it's cool, and I enjoy playing any kind of crazy list. So I suppose my kind of feel is around, I don't particularly like seeing these kind of just plug and play units in there. But I think they're great. I think we're going to see them in a lot of Imperial Soup armies, because they're such a solid unit at their points. And whether they'll get whether they might get a points increase, maybe. They probably need one slightly, but I don't think they're not ridiculous. You just need to have something to deal with them. So you need to be able to realise that you're going to come up against quite a few lists that will have 2 or 3 of those guys zipping around, and how are you going to deal with them? How are you going to shut them down? How are you going to put the hurt on? The easiest way is Mortal Wounds. They do have a counter to it, so they can slightly have got a way of shrugging off Mortal Wounds, but it's still unlikely they'll shrug off a lot. So if you've got something that can do Mortal Wounds to them, either through psychic powers or any kind of, you know, fly over and do damage, or any kind of shooting attack, or whatever it might be that does mortal wounds, that's a very effective way of dealing with them. They will drop very quickly then. You know, if you're playing Tyranids, Bio-Wars are amazing against them. You know, there are quite a lot of counters, but I think more than anything, you just need to kind of deal and adapt with them. What's we got? I think maybe average out the points, and each turn miss reward the person with the most time with those points per turn remaining. Not a bad idea. Will, what did you miss? I'd say watch the show again. Because you've missed about an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 20 minutes now. So yeah, no, I mean, look, it's been a pretty chilled out show tonight, Will. So nothing earth shattering. I talked a little bit about your event coming up. Let the guys know that's an awesome event. Will is TO at the Scottish Takeover 3, and does a great show there. So yeah, don't miss out on that. But yeah, we talked about all sorts. Well, all sorts. As I said, watch it back. It's been a good fun show. We've had quite a lot of interaction. Julian, waiting on Genestealer Cult. Do you think they will get Return to the Shadows again? Yes, absolutely. I would almost put money on it. Almost put money on it. In fact, I probably would put money on it. What that exactly will look like, I don't know. To get the balance is important, because potentially they could be crazy powerful. I think they need to get some sort of balance there, but I think 100% you're going to see more or less the same tricks that you saw in 7th edition, but you're going to have to pay command points for them, which is going to force you to pay points for units you potentially wouldn't have taken otherwise. So yeah, I'd say 100%, and I think Genestealer Cult will be very, very good, very good. They're already decent, to be fair. There's not many ways of building them, and you probably need allies from either Tyranids or Guard or a bit of both to make them really work. But Genestealer Cult are still they're no slouches, and they're a really powerful army. What we got? Good news. Triple Riptide. Stratagem Riptide Wing is a thing again. Oh, is that a fact, Will? Have you heard the murmurings? Well, I mean, that again, that's not a surprise. To get a stratagem to make Riptides, basically Riptide Wing again, is fine. But I think ultimately, Will, that still will be horrendously poor if the points don't change. because they're too expensive at that point. To have 3 Riptides, even if they can do that amount of damage, it's too many points. Too many points. It's just not. They're not good enough and reliable at that amount of points. It's just not, in my opinion. In my opinion, personally, they need a massive points decrease to make that workable, and make that. They don't need to go so many points down, but they do need a fairly substantial points decrease. According to saying Riptide Wings a thing again, that isn't good news. It's never going to be a thing like it was before, Gordon. I wouldn't worry about that. I think the days of seeing 6 or 7 Riptides on the board is long gone. So I don't think you have anything to worry about there whatsoever. I don't think they'll ever go back to being that great, but it would be nice to see some Riptides out again, because they're such cool models and they are amazingly fun to have on the table. And I think it's a shame that you just don't see Riptides out anymore. So I'd love to see them back on the table again, and not just full 12 variants. Just a standard Riptides to get them out on the table would be great. They're so cool, and I can't wait to get my Riptides out again. They're sitting there gathering dust, and I'd like to play them competitively again. It would be awesome. Probably in fact, I think the last time they came out competitively was when I won a tournament with them. So yeah, they're waiting to awake from their slumber and do some work without the need of 500 commanders and a bucket load of drones. Well, look, Will's dropping some figures here, guys. He's dropping some facts and figures. I'm not going to read them all out, because at the moment it's just all rumour mill, as far as I'm aware, unless you can tell me that it's been released on the community site. But Will's making some pretty bold claims about buffs in shooting and reductions in points. So exciting for you Tau fans. But anyway, guys, unless there's any further questions, and I don't think so, I'll give it another couple of seconds. Joe Jones, hi everyone. Sorry I'm late. I'll watch his back. Hiya James, it's my fault. It's totally my fault. I have just not really kind of advertised particularly this, because we've had so many problems over the last few weeks. I didn't want to let you down. I've let you down too many times, guys. So I just wanted to kind of sneak it out there and kind of see whether I could kind of do a good show for you guys. And as I said, thank you so much for everyone dropping by. Yeah, cheers, Gordon. I really hope the next one will be next week. Before I go, for those guys that have jumped in, I'm just gonna kind of leave you, just let you know that just to kind of give you a little update. Obviously, we've got the new overlay. Hope you're liking it, guys. I've not had anyone say I think it looks pretty cool. Really happy with it. And then just to let you know the additions to my Patreon, if you want to kind of support me further, we've got new dice. These are what the new dice look like. So a lovely new dice, kind of marble effect with the new updated logo on. They're big chunky dice. So if you like big chunky dice, they're the ones for you. You can get them at a $10 back-in on those guys, and I can send them out to you. I've also got some smaller dice coming as well with the old-fashioned logo on there if you're interested in that. At the $20 we have at the moment a very exclusive design, which is my new branded t-shirt, which I cannot wait to get on myself. I love it to bits. So cool with the unique artwork. And as I said, you can get all the details from that over our Patreon account. But if you can't find the details there, then just give me a shout and I'll let you know. I'm kind of in the process of updating that. And to leave you on one last thing before I go, I just want to again remind you that very soon we will release the details and the tickets for the Northwest Open, and here is our new awesome artwork. How cool is that? Love it to bits. Thank you so much, Jojo, for creating that awesome bit of artwork. It's so funny. It puts a big smile on my face. I love it to bits. It's hilarious. I want a t-shirt with that on as well. But anyway, guys, I know everyone's kind of chatting now, and we've got 12 in the room, and that's so cool, and I feel so bad about leaving you, but I am going to now, and I will do my absolute best to be back next week. Thanks everyone for joining me. Really appreciate it. You guys are absolute bosses, and until next week, I'll see you soon. Bye for now.